What's going on, EoP sports fans? It's Wednesday night. It's 8:30. It's time for EoP. I'm Big Al, and that is not Freddie Burns or Joey Shear. No. We got special guest in here tonight. Our boy Ryan Reis from the Football Smack Talk Show is here tonight joining us. My boy Mike Lauro from PM and the AM Talk of Locker Room Sports with Mike Lauro, and of course all the post-game shows for the Flyers and soon to be Phillies. So guys, we have a lot to cover tonight. And I want to thank you guys for making it out tonight, boys. What's going on?
Not much, man. Glad to be in studio here and talking a little Philly sports tonight.
I'm about to put a bunk bed in here
Well,
somewhere.
Mike already had his mail forwarded here, so this is it's Ryan's first time. But yeah, guys, welcome in. We have a lot to talk about. More drama in Philly sports, and I'm going to get to a point in a little bit that I want to make because I really am starting to feel snake bitten a little bit. Over just looking at a lot of different things. But let's start with the Joel Embiid injury. Joel Embiid missed a few games. Him and Maxey have been out for a few games. Comes back last night, and not the kind of fashion we would hope. It was a tough game against a not a great Warriors team, who are struggling to just stay afloat right now in their conference. But Joel Embiid was not playing well. Left the game early. Came back into the game. And as we were talking right off air, right, we talked about him falling, like he just collapsing at one point. Guys rolling up on his knees, falling on top of him, and then it just kept kind of compounding, falling apart from there. And now Joel Embiid is already out, heading back to Philly, while the rest of the team is heading to Utah. By the way, there's like a ton of other injuries on top of it. Batum is questionable. Maxey remains questionable. No, Marcus Morris Sr. is out, or is unlikely to play right now. And I guess the other two guys is Roko's out, as well as D'Anthony Melton is also out. So this team is thin. They have dropped to fourth place right now in the Eastern. And I keep bringing all the fun facts out right now, and it's also like a week away, 8 days away from the NBA draft deadline or the trade deadline. And people were hoping for an influx, not a sell, but it looks like it could be going that way. Your initial thoughts, where I'll start with you, on how it was handled last night, how the Sixers, should they have pulled him out early? Should the Sixers tell Joel, like, step in for Joel and say, listen, we respect that you want to play, well, maybe not right, maybe it's not right now.
Yeah, no, absolutely. They need to be the adults in the room, and they horrendously mismanaged this, and now we don't know what we have. We don't know the results. We're obviously every Sixers fan out there is refreshing their Twitter, hoping to God they don't get the news that we're all fearing, that he's going to be out for a significant amount of time. And, they're saying that it's the other knee, and, he originally hurt the one knee. And I think he just kind of felt this pressure to get back out there. And honestly, yeah, it would suck if the season he's having, he's not eligible to win the MVP, because he's clearly on pace. But I'd rather have a healthy Joel Embiid for the playoffs, and let's actually make some noise in the playoffs instead of fizzling out like we always do.
Yeah,
So,
I think this city, this fan base was very high on the Sixers because it just seemed like a different fit. And then I talk about that snake bitten part, but you mentioned mismanaged. You mentioned him kind of them saying, "Hey, listen, we got to think what's best for you. We appreciate you, Mike. I'm turning it over to you now. Is it at one point, does it become the media's fault? Because a lot of the media is getting a lot of flack right now on Twitter and social media. The fans' fault for calling, like, people have called him soft because he continues to get injured.
He gets injured every year.
And I know you.
I mean, this is an every year thing. Like, why don't you I don't know why you guys put so much hope in this dude. He's not going to bring a championship here, and I'm not going to stray off of that. He's not. He's better. You're better off just trading, dude. Like, I was hoping he would have won the MVP, because then he would have been back to back, and you would have got a boatload for him. You're not going to win nothing with him. It's already proven. This is the only dude I know that's broken his face twice in the playoffs. Like, who breaks their face twice? If that's not the thing of being snake bit, that this dude's not going to win, you're not going to win with him. Yeah. I'd rather take it and get some younger stars in here to go along with Nurse and Maxey and build up your core and get rid of him than to keep him. For what reason?
Listen, I think you ride with. I have to disagree with the fact there's certain times guys are good enough, no matter how injury prone they are, no matter the way a man his size is as athletic as he is as good as taking long range shots as well as mid range shots, and can muscle his way to a bad. I get it, and listen, even at this point in time, looking at the situation, you would think it'd be easy to agree with you, but it's still not because we haven't gotten the words back. So let's play devil's advocate for a second. Say they could bring in another star player, and he's going to be out for a good chunk of the rest of the season, but will be back and healthy to play at least 85% better by the playoffs. Is it still not worth it then?
If they can get somebody in here, I would say yeah, because now you're bringing in somebody else who can go along with him and Maxey. But if you're counting on him and him alone, listen, I know he's a big guy. I know he gets hurt every year. Does Joker get hurt every year? No, but that dude's constantly in the finals, and he's constantly in final talking for the MVP, or if not winning it. So there's going to be a debate between him and Joker, and I know Ryan, you're chomping at the bit, so I'll give it up to you.
Listen. Let's go. Let's push out your theory here. We trade Joel Embiid for a bunch of whoever, doesn't matter, and you try to build around Maxey and with Nick Nurse. What do you think is going to happen in 6 or 7 years when we don't win a championship? You're going to do the same darn thing that you probably did with Allen Iverson and Charles Barkley and every other bum that hasn't won a championship for the 76ers.
So your counterpoint to that is to hold on to this guy who's already proven he can't get past the second round. I mean, listen.
You're putting all of that on him.
Yeah, he's supposed to be the dominant. He's supposed to be the dominant big man in this game.
He is.
Okay, so why is he?
I think the NBA has shown that one superstar is not going to fly, and just two,
that's true.
And not just two superstar laden teams either. I mean, you use the Joker. Joker is as an example. I'll use it back at you. Look who's around him.
Exactly.
You got stars, but you don't got superstars. You got guys who know what they're supposed to do and who do it well. The Sixers failed to do that for a very long time. You had coaches like Doc Rivers who thought it was just plug and play with the superstar and just let the dogs run, and that's not.
I don't know about that either because they did. All right, he didn't get along with Simmons. They traded Simmons for Harden.
Yeah.
Okay,
Harden, I think was stupid.
Well, yeah, on hindsight, looking at it now, but I'm
honestly,
pretty sure.
Honestly, I'll tell you, even before this, and you can go back and check the tapes. I always says what's beautiful about doing this kind of work. Yep. You can look at. Now the rumor was as true as it was. I can't say, but from what I understand, there was an option that you could have Halliburton here.
Yeah, it was Halliburton and Buddy Hield. I wanted that deal
all day.
I wanted that deal. I thought of this is even if let's play devil's advocate. You could have stuck James Harden here. You just had to finish out the rest of that season. And James Harden would have joined, but you would have two role players who, to me, we would have seen already. We didn't even need a James Harden.
Right, exactly.
That would have proved the point with Doc Rivers, what we had right now with Nick Nurse.
Right, but what I'm saying is what you're saying is that falls back on Sixers management. We're talking about the people on the court, that what they have here now. Like, I'm sorry, they've been playing really, really good. Like, I'll give the Sixers their due. They're playing really good. And Joel was playing really good basketball this year.
Amazing.
But again, wake me up when he gets past the second round.
Okay, but I'm sorry, but in any major sport, it's not even with only 5 guys on the court. I'm sorry, it's not just one person. It is a team failure that they have not surrounded him with more people, with more.
But how many?
Depth.
But how many stars do you want them to put around them? I mean,
all of them.
But
as many as you can. Get them all in here. I don't care what you got to do. Surround him with people that do their job and know how to work with Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey, and get people out of here that don't.
And to push on it a little further is it not a failure of the organization that you have not had, knowing a guy who's now has been as injured as much as he has not had since Andre Drummond, a decent backup. Who I'm not saying. Listen,
again, all this falls back on the GM.
Yeah, but again, That's my point.
What
Is
we're
I
saying.
don't blame Embiid for it. I'm not. I'll trade to Daryl Morey. I'll drive him to the airport if you want me to. I'm not saying. And again, I don't think Daryl Morey's the worst GM, but I think his clout's a little overblown for a guy who's done a whole lot of nothing.
Mhm.
But at the same time, here is a team, in my eyes, or I'm sorry, or an organization in my eyes, they've always just did a little bit, but never enough.
I'm sorry. Like, I hear what you guys are saying, but you know what turned me off last year? Was watching him in Game 6 and Game 7. He quit. Dude quit. I'm sorry. Now, I want to hear your excuses for him quitting.
Not disagreeing with he disappeared. Not disagreeing.
No, but I'm saying he does that a lot, Al. He does that a lot.
The whole team did too.
Okay, but you know what? You're the best player. I'm not trying to hear that.
Listen,
you're the best player. You're
right.
supposed to take the ball. Okay, Game 7. Okay, when it's winner go home, your best player's got to show up. And him and Harden didn't show up.
You're right.
And this isn't the first time in these playoff time that he hasn't done it. This is why I want him out of here. The dude, it's a ticker problem, man. It's not a talent problem. It's a ticker problem.
It's only a problem until he figures that out. How many great stars? Hold on. How many great stars in all of sports have had that attached to them? Oh, they can't win in the playoffs. They can't. Peyton Manning couldn't do jack in the playoffs until he finally won it, and that was a few years into.
That's because he ran into Brady. He played in the same conference as Brady. That's why he couldn't get over the hump. But yeah,
and we're not playing in an age where we have wonders like Kevin Durant and Giannis and Joker and plenty of amazing superstars that are probably going to be Hall of Famers.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
I don't know why anybody's saying this, but nobody's saying everything's all well in Philly sports. The conversation is right now. It's turned in. Is Joel Embiid? He's not on the record saying he wants Joel Embiid traded.
I've been saying it for 2 years.
Yeah. Well, listen, Matty B. Listen, I understand your staunch support, stance of being anti-Philly, but I'm not saying I'm drinking Kool-Aid, and I'm not saying anything like that. I'm saying that the Sixers management have failed Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid, yes, while not perfect, while has some things to work on, he is absolutely dominating the NBA this year in a historic fashion, and we need to respect that. We need to absolutely appreciate that, and we need to realize that this team needs to do better for him, not Joel. Joel's doing what he can.
Okay, but he's hurt again. He's hurt again. Like it's like Derek Barnett with the Eagles. You know he's getting a 15-yard penalty every game. You know it's always him.
He moved.
Derek Barnett's a bum.
Yeah, well, he didn't look like a bum playing for Houston.
Yeah, well.
Okay, so whose fault is that? Was that Derek Barnett's or was that the Eagles?
I think it's kind of both.
Problem.
Yeah.
Kind of both. Because he didn't play when he was here. But what I'm saying
I'm not saying that Joel. Listen, the one thing is, you can say Joel Embiid maybe. All right, let's play devil's advocate, saying he just can't get over that hump, or he doesn't do something well. No, his problem is injury, and that no matter where you send him, that problem doesn't go away.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that, but guess what? That becomes somebody else's problem. That doesn't stay your problem. Once he leaves and goes somewhere else,
we talk about things like generational talent don't come very often.
Nope.
And unfortunately, with
he's going to be known as a generational bust.
Well, take Eric Lindros for a second. Here's another guy who in this town is beloved to this point. Allen Iverson, a guy who's beloved, never got anywhere. Never won that championship.
I'm sorry. Iverson got to a final. Did Joel Embiid get to a final yet? Did I miss something?
No, but that
dude went up against. You want to talk about a team? That Lakers team was
the best,
loaded.
One of the best.
Oh, yeah.
You're right.
Ever.
You're right. But how many finals did Iverson get to?
He got the one. Okay, well, wake me when Joel gets the one.
I'll talk to you the second he retires, and I'll come and compare.
Okay, so, we can do that because Iverson's an all-time great Sixer. That dude did. You want to talk about not having nobody?
Always already an all-time great Sixer.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, you want to talk about a guy who didn't have nobody? That was Iverson's team. Like, I'm sorry, you can't sit there and say that Joel Embiid don't have somebody when he's got somebody like Maxey.
The NBA back then, you could do that with one superstar.
Yeah. True,
you could.
You're right,
and that's why there was no chance of them beating with Kobe and Shaq.
Oh no, never, dude. Their bench was could have started around the league.
Who Iverson worked with, I give him a lot of credit.
Matt Geiger.
But my point is,
Dikembe Mutombo. Like I thought that was probably one of the worst trades I think they ever made was trading Theo Ratliff for Mutombo. I think if they would have had Theo, they might have had a shot because Theo could move the ball inside. But Getting back to this current team, I love the coach. I do. I think the coach is a major upgrade from what the Sixers
For
had,
sure.
and he's got this team playing.
And look what he's got the team playing with. So again, organizational standpoint, if you're listen, I said I was on the record with Brett Brown not being the guy because of the tanking. It's really
Right.
hard to go from losing to winning,
Sure.
and that mentality with him, he's being the face of losing. Doc Rivers was, I mean, his problem is like. Let me ask you
He's
this
living off
question.
that one championship.
Yeah, yeah.
He's living off that one championship.
He had a super team in Boston. back then,
Exactly.
too.
Right.
Yeah,
And-
he had the big. He was the first big three.
Yeah, and
So
and my point is, now he's on. Now they have him in Milwaukee. Do you think Milwaukee's less scary or more scary now?
less.
Less.
I'll agree with that.
Organizational problem because you're bringing in not the right guys.
Yep.
And it's continual, and it's not making the right moves. You got a GM who's not a GM,
But-
you have a guy who's a director of
Basketball operations,
or
yeah.
term. Just like the problem with the Phillies, we have a GM.
Sam Fold, yeah,
Who-
but
okay, yeah.
everybody get, but
Who?
don't, but
Yeah.
Sam, exactly.
Yeah, Sam. Yeah, but guys, listen. We all know nothing in sports is a short thing except for PhillySportsTrips.com. That's right, PhillySportsTrips.com has all your trips you can enjoy. Even when the team is not doing well, you can enjoy a great time and get away. Here's a great one: the Stadium Series this February 17th at MetLife Stadium. Flyers take on the Devils outside at MetLife.
I'm trying to get there.
Yeah, everybody's trying to get there. But guess what? Just like Mike's going to do, he's going to go to PhillySportsTrips.com and he's going to sign up right now. And if you want to do a little Phillies and Flyers, you can hit the Florida, get a little Clearwater time in. And they're also going to be taking in a Flyers game because they're playing Tampa that week. So check it out.
Oh, that's a hell of a combo there, man.
Yeah, so they have a lot of trips lined up now. Some of them sold out, so do not wait. Get to PhillySportsTrips.com. All their Phillies trips are already out there. They have international games too coming up, including the Phillies London trip, but other ones as well. We're talking Italy, we're talking England, and I think Germany's the other one. So check it all out. Even if you Union fans out there is trips for you. Check it out, PhillySportsTrips.com. So listen, and there is one. This is one of those arguments where you could see both sides of the court in this case. But I can't. I just there is certain times like I said, there's nothing different. If we always said like, well, in football, the biggest man always wins, and then you're always the big guys on the line, then they always win, or like the fastest guy's going to always win. No, it doesn't work that way. There's luck that comes into it. There's skill that comes into it. There's a lot of things that come into it. But when you have a generational talent, even a guy who gets injured a lot, I use that Eric Lindros example again. You ride with you. I feel like you have to ride with him now. You've pushed your chips in at this point, and I know you and even Matty B just said it recently. This team, you could still sell right now and get.
He'll never be more higher trade value than he is now.
Probably not.
Each
What
year,
are you going to even?
dude.
possibly
It does.
get for
You
him?
can get. Listen, if he's a 2-time reigning MVP, you will get a haul back. It doesn't matter who you trade him
Okay,
to.
so let's play again. He goes say New York. The Knicks have always been in the conversation with him. Yeah,
Ugh.
yeah, exactly. So he goes to the Knicks. Okay, and he goes to the Knicks and plays as well as he has for the last few years.
What are we getting? Randall back?
No, it's not even just that. Your
You
picks,
can take your pick of who you're
picks
getting
are
back.
going to be late round picks.
Right.
And in the NBA, who
But
gives?
I understand what you're saying. But if they have star talent to come back with it, you're not going to guess what? You're not going to be picking top 10 either because you're going to be right there because you're going to have a nucleus to go along with Maxey. Okay, this is why I love Sixer fans, but you guys try to look at it like, oh well, he's going to go here, so because he's going here, they're already a playoff team. You're not going to. No, dude, you're going to end up taking stuff back from them as well. You know what I mean? And if you're doing 1 for 3, I'll take that deal.
1 for 3, what? 3 first round picks?
No, like 1 for 3,
Three players.
3 players,
Yeah.
and I'm talking about 3 top-notch players. Like, yeah, if he's a 2-time reigning MVP, that's what you're gonna. That's my starting limit for you to get Joel Embiid on top of
Our
picks.
boy Phil from Treading in the AM is chiming in. Going down with the Joel ship. No way you ever trade
No,
him.
but guess
I'm
what?
with Phil 1,000,000,000%.
Hey, man, listen.
We need to make.
Listen, I know I'm on an island with this.
You are, and I get it. I understand the sentiment. I understand.
I'm just
It's
frustrated with the
frustrating.
dude.
Yeah,
I'm frustrated with the
exactly.
dude because it seems like when it comes time for him to come up big in big moments. I'm not talking about regular season games. I'm talking about
I
postseason.
get it.
When he's got to come up big, he is small.
I get it.
He's the smallest 7 foot, whatever he is, and I'm just tired of it.
Again, I see what you're talking about last year, and that is one moment. But
Dude, he did it the year before. I mean, the Toronto game, that game 7 where he cried. He didn't ball out in that game. He didn't ball out in that game at all. So this is what I'm talking. There is a pattern of him coming up short. It's not just last year. This is going back.
I understand what you're saying, but I also understand what Ryan's saying in the sense that he, like any other, there's a lot of stars out there who aren't like there's superstars, and then there's generational talents, but then there's just the clutch gene guys. Like take Patrick Mahomes for instance. There's a guy who's been in every AFC Championship game he could play in, and has only missed one Super Bowl out of all
Right.
so far, and he just like we talked about on PM and the AM, and we were picking who was going to win the conference championships. And I said, I picked the Chiefs. Why? Why did I pick the Chiefs?
Because of Mahomes.
Because of Mahomes. That was the only factor. There's guys that I can't say he's Patrick Mahomes that way. But when it comes from a talent, from a guy who can, I mean, listen, he won MVP last year, and we were all excited about that. If health wasn't an issue, everything moving forward, he was going to blow that out of the water. That shows improvement, right? So what means that he's not going to be improving into the postseason as well?
You guys want to wait a decade for this guy to deliver.
We waited this long. The last time they won, I was 4 months old or something like that. I don't even know what it was.
I was 6, bro. Like I remember
83, right?
Yeah, 83. I remember watching the parade. I was watching the parade in school. Like I remember watching the parade in school. Like I understand. Trust me, I remember Mo and Doc, and I remember all that. But again, I know it's been a long time. But again, how long? Like you guys are saying he's a generational talent. Well, it's probably going to be a generation before he does anything.
Well, we already waited 40 years.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's at this 10? Point, you're like,
what's another 10?
It's not even just another 10. Like you've allowed him to
how long do you think he's going to want to be here? That's the bigger question. I mean, he may want out of here beforehand.
I brought that up.
Yeah, you did.
I brought that up, and I agree with you. And that was my worry about how important this coaching search was going to be in the offseason. Yeah. Because if this is a huge, like everybody's talking about this being a bridge year, a gap year, right? And I said I don't like that, not because it's just as a fan, but yeah, if I'm Joel Embiid, I'm like, well, his
clock's ticking.
Clock is ticking. I don't know what to do. Phil's trying to get Joe Embiid is a generational odds of getting someone close to him again is so low. Exactly. And that's my point. Is like
you can't say that, man, because there's kids coming up now in college that are, you know what I mean, that were probably just as good as he was in college. So I mean,
I'm with Phil. You waited out.
Oh, like I said, I mean,
yeah.
You guys are. I feel bad for us because I just feel like you guys are going to be really, really disappointed because I just don't see.
What says that your idea isn't leading to disappointment for another 10 years?
It may be, but you got to do something.
So anytime you get frustrated, you just want to trade.
No. But again,
sounds like what you want to do.
No,
I'm saying in 6 years you're going to want to trade Maxey.
No,
when they haven't won a championship. You're just
trade. Well, what would you do? If you're a GM, right? You give your team a certain amount of time to build up. If it doesn't build, then you got to tear down.
It's a new coach.
I know it is.
So let them play it out.
Another team that just they make jerky movements.
They
organization.
They do.
He hasn't had hasn't had a team that he's played with for many members of this team that he's played with outside of Maxey and Tobias,
who have been like his longest teammate.
Yeah. And, again, why do we have Tobias Harris? Not because Tobias Harris was the best option. We got Tobias Harris because they made so many stupid mistakes. Elton Brandon and the rest of them had to make something happen in fear of losing their job. And then you sign a guy like Tobias Harris. And, again, very good player, just not worth his contract.
No. Let's just bring Jimmy back.
Yeah.
He might be available.
Oh, yeah, because he won so much with Jimmy.
Well, he only played 1 year with Jimmy.
I know, but
Ben Simmons weighing it down. No,
see, okay, there's a list of excuses there, man. Like I said, he didn't win with Ben. He didn't win with Jimmy. He didn't win with James. Like who else are you going to bring? Why don't you go?
Of the NBA hasn't won with nothing.
Okay, so why don't they try to make it? What was it? What's the dude out in Golden State?
Klay Thompson?
No, Steph Curry. Why don't we just go make a deal for him and bring him here? Maybe he might win with Steph Curry.
Steph Curry.
I know they're not.
If they have the opportunity to bring Steph Curry, they're going to
right. That's what I'm saying. But I mean,
there are Jimmy Butler rumors out there. So
it wouldn't surprise. It wouldn't surprise me.
not surprised there. Quinn saying the Sixers will never get past the second round.
Yeah, he's
Joel
right.
Embiid.
He's always hurt.
That's right.
Always hurt.
Quinn usually
Classic,
going to win.
yeah, classic cue right there.
Yeah.
Quinn's always going to win the quote of the night. Joel Embiid. I love it.
Yeah. Listen, when he broke his face for the second time, I looked. What did I say to you on P&M name? I said that dude is the most unluckiest dude. Get rid of him now because there is some bad juju around him.
Again,
you broke his face twice. You know how hard it is to break your face twice?
But again, if Mike Lauro is in Daryl Morey's seat right now, I blame Mike Lauro for not going to get a halfway decent backup center because that's how you spell them.
Yeah.
Nick Nurse has found a good way when they were.
But there's only so much money to go around.
I'm not saying there has to be a max deal.
Get rid of Tobias. Free up a whole lot of money there.
They had their chance to get rid of Tobias. I don't think nobody was taking him with that contract. Again, but that was the previous regime. He didn't sign Tobias to that contract. That was Elton Brand. So
Pat's chiming in here says that falls on management. Keeping Tobias around here, yet to get a better deal to Joel, a better supporting cast.
Again,
grammar aside, I know what he's saying here.
But Pat, you got to follow the bouncing ball. Love him to death, but you know.
But listen, I think all in all, we obviously are all very frustrated with the situation.
Yeah, because I want them to win.
But I feel like you're taking your frustrations out on Joel, whether it's fair or not. You're taking it out on Joel Embiid, where I think Al and I and Phil
are taking
joining us and Pat are seeing that it's management's fault, and that's who.
I didn't say management didn't have a part in this. All I'm saying is this,
and we're not saying that Joel Embiid doesn't have a small part in it,
right?
But he's got to step up bigger. He's got to be a little bit more durable.
So I put more on him because I feel like he's the best player on this team. Okay, and he's supposed to be one of the best players in the league,
in the world.
In the world, if you're one of the best players in the world, man, you don't quit on your team. You put them on your back. Okay, that's what guys like Kobe did. That's what guys like Shaq did. That's what guys like Hakeem Olajuwon did. Okay, and guess what? They played in a harder NBA than what he's playing in now. And I'm sorry, to me, that's a ticker problem. Again, that's heart. And I'm sorry. To me, until I see him grab a series by the throat and dominate it and take it over, that's the way I'm going to feel about that.
I can't blame his heart on this. I think his heart, in this case, got him in a little trouble. I think his heart.
Well, I mean, as far as last night, yeah. I mean, he tried. I mean, last night he kind of showed me something a little bit.
Did that do anything to
Yeah,
because clearly you're still. I don't mean this in a negative way, but you're clearly still stuck on last year's playoffs.
Well, I am.
Listen,
because to me, 82 games, it don't matter to me. You got to show me something when the time counts.
16 wins.
I mean, during the regular season, he's a beast. He's a beast. He won MVP, and he deserved to win MVP. And guess what? He's my front runner right now to win MVP this year.
Of course.
Okay, he's dominant. Show me that in March, or show me that in May. Show me that in May. Okay, to get us to June. He does that, man. Boom. And I'm sorry, Ryan, I disagree with you, dude. He quit. He quit. If you try to tell me he tried his hardest in Game 7 last year, no, dude, you don't have. Pat, Pat, that's bad. Pat. Like, I'm not even calling him that, dude.
Damn.
I'm not calling him that, dude.
For man. Jeez, he's got a family.
Yeah.
He's all right. Pat's in jail. I just put him
in. He's not allowed to comment no more. He must be having the meat sweats.
Meniscus in his knee.
Everybody's banged up, dude. There's no way he quit on his team last year. Him and Harden quit.
I don't know. Again, I don't know if I can say quit.
He quit.
Did maybe he get kicked in the proverbial cojones, and it was hard to rise up because the rest of the team just seemed out of sorts. Now I'll agree with you, Mike, to say it's his job as that generational talent and that superstar to rise up and rally his team. And they were reaching. They were reaching.
If you're the best player, if you're supposed to be
again, I can't use the term quit on him.
Oh, he did. My man punched his clock out. Game 7, punched it out. Sorry. And, he kind of punched his game out. Really, he punched that clock out. Really, what was it, the fourth quarter? Every minute spent organizing and attending MVP watch party last year. So.
Q, another one.
Yeah, Q. Yeah. I mean, I get it. And if the MVP doesn't mean nothing if you lose. I understand what you're saying.
I mean, look, and the reason I brought up Joker was because
even Q said he wouldn't say quit though.
oh well,
So then what is it? If he's not quitting, if it's not a heart, like the guy doesn't have the heart to like Ben Simmons. Here's a guy who quit on.
Yeah, like that dude. I call him the Tin Man.
Like,
he has no heart
that's
whatsoever.
Why on this show for many years with Fred Burns, I sat there and told him, like, and Freddie,
I was never a Simmons fan.
Freddie was, Ben Simmons apologist as much as we're being apologists about Embiid right now. Yeah. Like at the same time, it's like that's where I say you can like injuries are something you can't fix, but you can learn to minimize if the organization was smart by putting the right backups behind him. When he had Drummond, it's one of the best times he had, but unfortunately, he had some other issues to deal with on that team that really held that team back. That team lost.
Yeah. Well, here's the question: didn't they go out and sign a couple big guys, right?
Yeah, Mo Bamba. Like,
Mo Bamba.
I mean,
come on.
The guy can't even sniff the court right now.
Yeah, obviously he's a bum.
But I'm saying, like, my question will fall more on Morey on this because, to me, if like you're saying, if you know he's going to be
now again,
man,
you go back a couple of years and stuff. I'll agree with you with the immature comment.
He's grown a lot.
But that's the thing. The maturation level of this has.
I don't think he's as immature as he used to be.
No, and kind of going back to that Toronto series was kind of like where you saw from the immature to the not mature yet, but like
he was getting there.
That's like the awakening. I guess you want to call it that.
Yeah, I think that's what shook him out of that.
Yeah,
honestly.
Yeah, I mean, he's not going to Chick-fil-A anymore or drinking Shirley Temples and down in 5 milkshakes.
As long as he's not going to TGA Fridays on City Line Avenue after every practice. I mean,
well,
dude, they used
to practice at PCOM, dude. It was right across the street. So, but I mean, I don't know, man. I hope. I wish the best for him. I just don't. I don't see. I just don't see them winning with him, man. I don't.
I can understand finding it hard to believe.
Yep.
That's why I'm not sitting here going, like the Pat Bernard, Dak Prescott comment there. I'm not going, you're nuts. Right. And I don't listen. Yeah. That's why I'm saying trying to be like look, devil's advocate for a moment. I can understand why people feel that way because there is that point where you feel snake bitten, and that's kind of the theme of tonight.
Yeah,
we're
it's
like a little bit about other snake bitten issues.
Oh yeah, well, listen, it's kind of like
that's Quentin's funniest line of the night right now.
There you go. No, here's the best. Like, I mean, what they say is the mark of insanity is when you keep trying to do something over and over again,
results.
Right, and kind of get different results. To me, that's the Sixers. That is the Sixers. Like the one constant has been
like
Embiid.
Saying you have like a sports car out here, but a part breaks on it, you're gonna just get rid of it.
Yeah, so
you're gonna sell it for 5 Hugos.
So Edison was crazy for trying to invent the light bulb 100 times and didn't do it, and on the 101st he did.
Listen, man. I guess he persevered. All I'm saying is this: I'm watching this dude.
Just saying,
I know,
persevere with us. Come on.
No, man. Listen, I can't. I can't take that, man. Come on, man. After a while,
Philly fans.
I am a Philly fan, but after a while,
persevere.
Man, after a while, man, you got to pump the brakes on that guy and just be like, all right, dude, go. I mean, listen, if he's able to snap this, even if he gets to the Eastern Conference Final this year, I can literally come back and say, all right, cool. He actually took a step.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But until I see that when it counts, man, I'm sorry. To me,
we'll just have to wait until then.
Yep.
Nothing we can do about it.
Pat's saying Joel had 21 points, 11 rebounds in Game 7 against the Raptors.
That's nice. Did they win?
Yeah, I don't know where he's going.
Where are you going with that? I think 21 and 11.
He was just trying to say that he didn't completely disappear. That's all.
He disappeared when it mattered. Again, I mean, this was one of the big knocks on him coming out of Kansas, that he would oftentimes, disappear.
Sure, that's the immaturity factor, I think. So.
Right. I mean, I'm just, I guess, saying what I feel about the guy. I want him to do well. Like I want to see a Sixers parade down Broad Street. I really do. I was 6 years old the last time they did that. I want to see it for the city. I want to see it for guys who live and breathe Sixers basketball. I don't live and breathe Sixers basketball. They're my hometown team. I root for them.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But it's hard to watch, man, when you sit there and you just, once it gets to a certain point in time in the season, it's just going to be over. I want to see Joel Embiid get that, quote unquote, I'll use a Rocky line. He needs to get that eye of the tiger. I want to see him take over a series, and not a first round, a second round series where they're going against a Boston or they're going against a Milwaukee, and he's got to show that he's the best player in the court and that he's going to take over that series. If he does that, then it's going to change my opinion of him. But until I see him do that, I mean, like I said, look at Hakeem Olajuwon. That dude was bad. And like I said, he played in a rougher NBA than there is now. You had guys, you went down the lane, you got killed, literally. Yeah. So it was a different NBA, and that dude was a beast. And and the only reason I bring him up is because Embiid is compared to him.
Yeah,
I think Embiid's got a better outside jumper than Olajuwon.
Listen, I think there's a lot of players that wouldn't last back in the 90s.
Yeah.
Put LeBron in 1991.
Oh, no way.
No. It's like that nasty Pistons defense.
Oh, I would love to see LeBron try to drive the lane with Rick Mahorn standing there.
And
that would never happen.
Like,
and
Lambeer. I forgot about him.
Play is hard, especially when you go back. But when you compare stats and you compare...
Who was the guy that, not to cut you off, Al, who was the guy that played for the Lakers that had the bifocals?
Kurt Rambis?
Yes.
Yeah.
That dude. They used to call him Rambo.
Guys, remind you that this is brought to you by Sherry'sTickets.com. That's right, Sherry'sTickets.com. Sports concerts theater, you name it, tickets. They got those tickets. It's hard to get tickets. No hidden fees. Great prices. Doesn't matter where you're at in the country. You can go to Sherry'sTickets.com and use that great promo code
EoP10.
That's right. EoP10 will save you 10% off at Sherry'sTickets.com. Like I said, family owned and operated since 1946. Sports concerts theaters, you name it. No hidden fees. No getting bamboozled at checkout. And use that great promo code
EoP10.
That's right. EoP10 will save you 10% off at Sherry'sTickets.com. So let's change gears here, and like I said, I bring up the Sixers too with this snake bitten feeling a little bit because it just like I said, just doesn't seem to get over this hump, and it was going so good. Like I felt like things were falling into place, and I really did think and I don't know if it's just the Kool-Aid because I'm sure Matty B he loves telling me how much I drink that Kool-Aid.
Yep.
But I do feel that this could have been the time that they could have got over that hump. Even with one superstar less, because they had the wrong recipe. They kept putting the wrong ingredients in.
Round peg in a square hole.
And that's why I'm not blaming Joel Embiid, but I'm not throwing the whole batter out just because of one bad egg. I'm scooping it out and putting somebody else in there.
Yep.
But let's hit one more here. We got Quinn saying the NBA play. Which NBA player failed to play before finally getting to a championship? Michael Jordan.
All of them,
Michael Jordan did.
All of them.
I mean, didn't the Pistons own Jordan for the first 3 years before they came up with the triangle system and all that stuff?
He won it in what? It's fifth year.
Yeah,
fifth year.
Yeah.
So okay. I mean, I understand Joel Embiid's been in the league for a little more than that, but we can't really count the
Joel Embiid's going to be. He's going to be in the league for like a decade before. Like I said, I don't see it, man. I really don't. And there's been a lot of guys. They called Rambless Clark Clint. It wasn't Rambo. They called him Rambo at one point in time too, because he used to go in and hack a bunch of people.
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot. Listen, it was different then. It was different not that long ago. I mean, just 25 years ago. I mean,
25. Wow.
Yeah. So
thanks, Al, making us feel old.
Yeah, well, we're all old, brother.
Speak for yourself. I'm young at heart.
I'm not the youngest one in the room, though. I'll be honest with you with that.
Yeah, you are, but
not by much, but yeah, I'm going to own it for right now. So let's switch gears. Let's talk about your Philadelphia Eagles. I think Ryan may have came for that. I can't tell. It's hard to tell. But Ryan's here. So let's talk about guys. First time, I guess, maybe not me and you, but the first time Ryan we get to talk with. We have two new coordinators. The OC is Kellen Moore, former Dallas Cowboys OC, and last year Padres, Chargers OC, and now he is the new Eagles OC. Hopefully, bringing in some less vanilla plays, and then
add some caramel.
We've talked about having Vic Fangio systems. Now we got the Godfather himself, Vic Fangio. How do you feel, about those two hires to start it off?
Honestly, I think it was a little underwhelming at first, but now that I've kind of dove into Kellen Moore's kind of the way he likes to run his system, he seems to, there's a great quote. He said something, and I'm going to butcher it here, but that he likes to take what the defense gives you. So if they're giving you deep, we're going to go deep.
Yeah,
and if not, we'll check down and we'll try again later. Like we're always going to be looking, and I think just his mindset seems to be like a curious one, a creative one, and he runs motion a whole hell of a lot more than we did last time or last year. So that motion rate will go up significantly, you would hope. Although if it doesn't, then that is more of a Jalen problem, which then, as a quarterback, why would you not want motion? All it gives you is just information about the
He
defense. You
really
know what I mean?
had Dak rolling out a lot too. That's a
Evening,
huge.
Mike.
That's a big difference.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw how last year when Jalen was able to roll out, he was able to really
Sure.
create plays, and that was one thing that he did. Kellen did with Dak. So, I mean, with I'll be honest with you. When it first came out, tweeted, I didn't know how to feel about it.
Sure.
Because part of me like, did they hire him because he was a Dallas guy? Maybe they thought some insider information, give him the upper hand in that situation. But I always respected him as a play caller because he seemed to have things that kept people guessing, which was, but we were so vanilla. Was that just, because it was different? I was happy with it.
Yeah. No, I agreed.
But like we've talked about in this case with the OC, was it better to get somebody young and up and coming, or getting a veteran, or did we just find the right sweet spot?
I think you found a right happy mix because, of course, if you listen to Cowboy fans, they're going to say, "Oh, well, you guys got Wonder Bread and all this other stuff." But if you take
that means he's Wonder Bread.
Well, they called him Wonder. He was known as the Wonder Boy down
Wonder
there.
Boy, okay.
So, but they call him Wonder Bread because, a lot of the blame 2 years ago with Dallas fell on Kellen Moore.
Sure.
And to me, I didn't see no difference. I didn't see no difference between their offense from last year to this year, other than they ran the ball less than when they had Kellen Moore. So that's my buddy Ben Powell. Oh, actually, he is a Cowboys fan, so maybe he could actually. He was putting it up there.
Well, he says you're going to see a lot of deep passes with Moore. Is that why you think Howie and them were very sold on him?
I don't. If there's one thing I would say about Kellen Moore, deep passes aren't really what I would say his bread and butter is. His bread and butter is yards after catch. He is consistently in the top 5 yards after catch, as were we last year during our Super Bowl run. And where did we end up this past year? 22nd, 23rd, something like that. So basically, we stopped utilizing what was working with our wide receivers. We have A.J. Brown. We have Devontae Smith. These guys are yak gods. And we went away from that. Kellen Moore is going to bring that back. And that's what I'm excited about. I'm excited
I think Kellen Moore is also going to utilize the tight end more than we saw.
And he's also going to throw to the backs more, too. If you take a look, when he was in Dallas, they threw the ball. Tony Pollard used to catch the ball a lot out of the backfield.
They ranked fifth. They ranked 5th in running back usage during his Cowboy year.
Yeah, and they had the number 1 offense. They had the number 1 offense.
Number 1 scoring offense.
Quentin has a good question here. I'll start with you, Mike. Were there other coaches available that you liked more?
Yes.
For the offense, yes.
Who?
Gerard Johnson from the quarterbacks coach from Houston.
Yeah, but were you not afraid that was just a repeat of Brian Johnson?
No.
Okay.
Because one, I feel like Brian Johnson theoretically when he came in to the Eagles organization didn't have any experience working with NFL quarterbacks. He was a college guy from Florida and Utah. But Gerard Johnson has worked with Deshaun Watson. Arguably his best career year working with Johnson. And then he took a rookie in C.J. Stroud and got him in the MVP conversation. The man had an amazing rookie campaign and is going to win the Rookie of the Year.
Okay.
So that tells me.
I'm not against if they hired him, but I just was.
But
I wonder
I feel
if that
like
was
he's
why
a
he
guy.
didn't get hired.
Well, he's a guy that I feel like would be a few years away from even if he's super successful, would be still 3 years away from a head coach, whispers. You know what I mean? So we could at least establish something for a few years under Jalen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking more or less I was hoping to try to get the guy from Baltimore, the quarterbacks coach from out of Baltimore, the one that his name's slipping my mind right now. The reason why is he kind of worked down there. He worked. They did a lot of running down there, and I love the fact that the way Baltimore runs the football.
Yeah.
They're real. It's kind of like what the Eagles.
Physical runs.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what the Eagles did.
Martin.
What's that?
T. Martin.
T. Martin. Yeah.
Mm.
And then quarterbacks from Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I mean, I was kind of looking into him because his development too. If you've seen how Lamar Jackson played this year, Lamar Jackson's passing downfield got a lot better this year, and T had a lot to do with that. I was kind of hoping, and he was kind of my dark horse because everybody here wanted the retreads. They wanted Frank Reich. They wanted.
Ridiculous.
I mean, listen, I would have taken Frank Reich,
No, I wouldn't have.
But again, that's trying to get like lightning in a bottle, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
But I like the fact that they went out and got Kellen Moore. But I think the best coach so far that we got was it Cliff Hunt?
Cliff Hurt.
Cliff Hurt.
The former defensive coordinator from Seattle used to, went up as a D line, went the last 2 years as a DC, is now going to be coaching the D line. So we have somebody with higher experience.
Yeah.
And
he looks like he's the type of dude that's going to.
He looks like if it becomes like injury prone, they could just throw him in
there.
He becomes a depth piece.
I mean, he is going to help Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, and Nolan Smith tremendously.
You know who else I think is going to get a lot of helping with him too is Milton Williams. I'm still sold on him, man.
Milton Williams is like my new Sweat. Mm-hmm. Guy who wasn't utilized very much. Sweat.
Who?
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
And finally, when he got his chance, he succeeded, and I think that's. I think
they're going to convert him over to a DE. I really do because he gets off the ball really quick.
He does, but
I would like to see them try to give him a shot at playing defensive end, like maybe give.
I just love our rotation interior defensive line with Davis, Carter, Williams, and Ajomo. I think that's fantastic.
Ajomo, I keep forgetting about him too because he was banged up.
Ben saying he has some great passing schemes. I'm getting Kellen Moore, of course.
Yeah.
But at the same time has some crazy gimmick plays too. So here's the thing is, and I think that too, like, you know what's good about guys like Kellen Moore? They've already made their mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
So they can learn from that and we can benefit from that. I'm not giving him a mulligan for last year, but that Chargers thing was beat up.
Listen, I'll tell you what, Austin Eckler had the most catches.
Oh yeah,
out of his whole career.
That's why I want them to bring back Swift because I think he can take even another level.
If Swift, I agree with you. I think Swift would be just right here. Like you got to keep him here. But if he should leave, I love Gus
Edwards.
Gus Edwards out of Baltimore.
Yeah.
You want to talk about a yin to a yang with Kenny Gainwell?
Kenny Gainwell.
Yeah. Well, can we just say, is Boston Scott gone?
I hope so.
I hope so.
Listen, you were only known for one thing. You didn't even do it this year. So what good?
They didn't put him in good position to do it this year.
They need to get rid of every running back.
I think Clint Hurtt could become like the defensive part of version of Just Outland, like just this guy who will be here all the time.
I would love that.
He just has that. Like I said, his first quote was as an Eagles coach. Now he said, "My guys don't move backwards."
And that's good.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that. Cannot love that anymore than I do.
Quentin actually agrees with something. He does like Clint Hurt.
Hey, wow.
Coach. Yeah.
He does.
I also like the other guy too. They got from Seattle, the DB coach.
Yeah.
Because and he's actually worked with, some notable names, but he's also worked with I believe it's Eli Ricks. He also coached with him in Bama.
Was it Ricks or was it?
I know Xavier McKinney's one of them. Because they talked about that. Because they talked about
Rex.
the Eagles.
Yeah, it was Rex. Right.
So, I mean, to be honest with you, do you feel like I felt like Ricks and Ringo showed a lot last year to me?
Yeah.
I mean, they kind of took their lumps a little bit, but the more they played, I thought the more they started to get better, like especially Ricks.
Yeah.
I don't feel like the Eagles got to go out and sign
any
quarterbacks. I think we're cool.
I think unless a guy comes to you in the first round at 22, like that kid from Toledo, who, by the way, if you're not
Spencer,
if you're not following the Senior Bowl, please do yourself a favor. He is lighting up the world.
And speaking of, you guys will have coverage Saturday, right?
Yeah. Dibes and I are going to be doing a little post game, a little recap
right here
of
on
what
EoP, so check it out.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but yes, that's the only situation I could see them taking a corner because they have a lot of young corners already. They still have to figure out what they're doing with Slay and with Bradbury. Whether you cutting Bradbury, you're moving him to safety, you just sit him on the bench and tell him to shut up. I don't care which one you do, but
just don't get him on the field.
yeah, I mean that would probably be best. But yeah, so I think it's a possibility, but yeah, I like where our defense is trending right now with the coaches,
and I even like
with
the
the
fact
youth.
too that we got Sidney Brown.
What
You
about
know-
personnel wise? I mean, here's my thing is, what do you? We'll ask this question since Ben. I'll have it up on the screen with Ben. He says it's not really defense, but he's saying Barkley or Henry become available. Do you guys take a shot at them? I mean, I
think Barkley's going to end up in Buffalo,
and I think Barkley's going to get $10 million easily, and that's just not going to happen.
Henry's kind of like, if you look at the running backs that are going to be free agents this year.
Gosh, it's insane. It's those two. It's Josh Jacobs. It's Eckler. It's
Gus Edwards,
Tony Pollard.
Yeah, I mean, like
I'd like Tony Pollard to come here personally.
Really?
If we're not going to get. I mean, look at how well he did under Kellen Moore 2 years ago. He did.
I can see that because
fantastic.
I think of all the guys you just mentioned, he's probably the most cost
cheaper. Right.
Most cost.
That's partly why I want to retain Swift is because he's underneath all of those guys. So he's probably the 7th best free agent. Okay, well, you're not going to get $10 million.
Nah,
so
that's what I'm saying. Like, he became a free agent really kind of big. Like, somebody had shown me the just the list.
Ben thinks we're nuts, I guess, because we said no.
He's like, no, he doesn't.
It's too much.
He's a Cowboys fan, dude. He don't want us to get Tony Pollard.
Maybe that's what it is. Yeah.
But
no, but
I'm out a little bit. I got a little bit buyer's remorse taking running back from Dallas.
Isn't Zeke Elliott available too?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, I'm not saying I want him. I'm just saying there's another guy to add to the pile of running backs available.
Could you imagine?
Like I said, I would take a flyer on either one of those two guys for $5 million or less.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh, 100%.
You know what? I went Derrick Henry because he went to finally the Eagles. There's one thing the Eagles have been missing this whole time.
A bruiser.
Since 2017 is that bruiser back. Nobody's clamored on EoP more than I have for that north-south bruiser back that can work as another lineman. From one lineman to another. Like, that's what good, big bruiser backs do.
Sure.
They plug a hole that needs to be plugged. I mean, all this stunning that Jeff Stoutland does and with the O-line, when you watch the line, like, and you'll probably see this with Kellen Moore too, because you didn't see any of this with Johnson or any of them, where they have the entire O-line except for one or two guys pulling go one way, and then the other guys go, just kind of fake everybody. And they take everybody the other way. And you have one guy that pulls, comes, and then you have your running back. But if you had a guy like Henry doing it, Jalen's legs are going to become huge again, and or maybe Kenny Gainwell is useful again if he's not fumbling.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be interesting to see where King Henry goes.
Sure.
Because I mean, there's not really a lot of teams that are looking for a back. Because a lot of people. I mean, if you go up and down, like you know where I could see him going. Honestly, might see him going to like Pittsburgh because Najee Harris is a free agent.
Is he?
Yeah, he's a free agent. He was on that list, so he's a free agent. So I don't know if they're going to retain him or not.
Would you guys consider Zeke?
If that means we get rid of Kenny Gainwell, heck yeah.
I would take Zeke because now you got your
$5 million.
No,
I would do like 3.
What was he making this year? I mean,
not $5 million. I'll tell you that.
He was
probably making 2.5.
Yeah, something like that.
Hey, if you want 1.5, I'll give you 1.5.
Yeah, I'll give him the number 13. You can run right in. Zacchaeus ain't going to need no more.
Right.
He was $3 million.
I'll give you 2.
1.1 was guaranteed, and there was a signing bonus.
I'll give you 2.
I mean, not signing bonus. What's it called? Incentives. Yeah. So I mean, but my one rule would be he has to wear a full jersey.
Yeah.
I don't want this half.
I like
this
that. I like
top
that
crops
rule.
up.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Every game that you wear half jersey, you
but I just
get
understand
half
about
a paycheck.
But my problem is retreads with Dallas guys just never work out.
Well,
I don't want another DeMarco Murray situation.
Yeah, exactly. We're all scared off of that, but.
I knew that was going to be a bad signing because you had a north and south runner trying to run east and west.
Chip Kelly's fault again.
Yeah.
Well, we have a lot of positions where there's a lot of question marks. I think running back's one of the more underrated ones, along with tight end.
I think you got me too. I agree with that. I think you need to get somebody else in here with Goddard.
100%.
Because Jack Stroll is just not the answer. And neither is Katerra. He's another Mr. Potato Head.
Well, who was the tight end that the Lions picked up?
Zach Ertz.
Laporta.
And he
second round guy.
He went second round guy. When the Eagles were picking their second pick,
Mhm.
I was sitting there going, I was thinking about Laporta.
Yeah,
And
I thought about it
wow.
too.
I'm like, well, Dallas is getting time to like sign him again, extend him what to do.
Yeah.
Same thing they did with Zach Ertz. And I would have been right. Look at this. Could you imagine if we had Laporta here?
Selleck to Ertz, Ertz to Goddard to
Whoever.
Jatavian Sanders from Texas.
I would like that. I would like that.
I wouldn't mind that at all.
No.
Or the kid from Penn State.
Yeah, well, I would say he's probably more like 4th, 5th round. But yeah, I'd spend a second round pick on a tight end.
Did you see the kid they were talking about from? They said he's probably going to go in the 5th round. He's like a defensive end from North Carolina. He was making waves at the Senior Bowl, and he actually talked to the Eagles.
Yeah.
Dude, like this kid looked like a baby bull, man.
Mm,
I seen him do one-on-one drills.
He'll probably go to the combine and jump himself.
Miles Murphy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
Miles. Yeah, and because I was watching Thomas Mott doing or the guys, him and another guy do a Eagles pod. I was watching that on YouTube, and
probably not better than this one, right?
Yeah.
No, not better than you guys.
No.
You guys are more in depth. But
best coverage here of the draft. I don't care what anybody says. Prove me wrong.
Let's go.
But yeah, I just was watching tape on this dude, and I was just like, Jesus God, and like North Carolina doesn't get a lot of primetime football because they're in the ACC, and unless they're playing Florida State, you really don't see.
I mean, they've been getting a little bit more.
Well, yeah, they were ranked
because of Drake May. Probably going to be the number 2 pick, and they got a couple of guys on that team, honestly, that'll surprise you in the NFL. But see, that's the beauty of draft stuff. You dive in, you go down that rabbit hole, and man, it's fun. It's fun going down that rabbit hole. Let me tell you, I'm in it every year.
And like I said, stay tuned to EoP. There's already a ton. Go on our page. We're going to be putting it up all over, reposting some things in case you missed it. Breakdowns from individual players to groups of players and so much more. And draft month here at EoP is, like I said, bar none, the best. So let's talk a little bit. And I hate getting into these conversations, but we got to talk about it because it's what's in there. The AJ Brown rumors. I mean, how can we just stop? Can we stop? What's up, Angry Ant?
It's ridiculous. Yeah, honestly, this is why everyone hates the Philadelphia media. It's because these are the guys that
is it
are
more fans or media?
I think the media is the one that brings it to the table, and then those fans, and we all know a lot of them, they're probably our friends, they eat it up. And they absolutely either they run with it and they're like, oh my God, oh no, we're trading AJ Brown, or they freak out about it, and it's a whole thing, and it takes
he's
over.
the next TO.
Yeah, exactly. He's a locker room cancer. Now, you know what? He actually did step up for this team leader-wise. He actually is sometimes has taken over vocally for Jalen Hurts in the locker room, because Jalen, again, is more of a reserved guy, and AJ Brown is not. He went away from talking to the media because, again, he knew the cancer that they are, and he cleared his IG or his social medias. Again, he even came out and said he just needed the break. He needed the break from it all.
Yeah. The one thing with that I'll push back on is that was stupid. If you need a break, just turn it off.
I mean, I agree.
Or delete the app from your phone for a little bit or something. Or
I
turn off
agree. I agree. That was more of a.
That's a me thing.
Well, yes, exactly. That's a wide receiver in him, needing the attention of that. But
fumble Batman.
But oh wow, come on.
I love him.
But yeah, no. Listen, anybody who's trying to drive home that diva. That diva name to him is couldn't be further from the truth. He is not that guy. He's passionate, and he honestly just wants to ball out. He just wants to be a part of a winning
Did
team.
you see his interview? He was on him and Devontae were on
Kay
today.
Adams.
Kay Adams this morning. I think it was today. He was on there. I caught a little bit of it, and he was just like, he just laughed. He was like, "Look, if I'm going to get traded, I'm going to get traded." He said, "I haven't really heard."
Did you see Devontae's reaction?
Yeah,
he was like, "What?"
Yeah, he was like, he sat there
laughing. Yeah, he was like, "What? That's stupid."
I think one of them was on. I think it was Devontae. He was on Mika Parsons' podcast or whatever it is.
Swift was.
I thought it was they were asking Devontae,
maybe,
but it was.
maybe
I don't know.
Maybe he was afterwards.
I don't know. Why you go on the Dallas Cowboys podcast is beyond me, but whatever.
Whatever.
They're all friends. Well, you know, Micah wants to be an Eagle.
Well,
anyway,
what is the color of your sky in your world? Green. Matty B. Green. Right, it's green. Okay.
Is it me? Is it me? He's asking.
I don't know.
It's dark outside. I can't see.
I can't see. Yeah. Yeah. I don't see where we got very the Eagles. I never said we're going to be the best team next year or anything. I don't remember.
No, I feel like that might be directed at me because I feel like I have tried to defend AJ Brown in a previous iteration of some show that I was on. And he came after me for being a homer, as he does.
That's why I love him. Honestly,
it's consistent.
Love working with him. He sticks by his.
Yeah, he does.
And listen, at the end of the season, of all of us, who was the right one? I hate saying it, but he was the right. He was right.
Yeah, he was right.
The man was right. He was right. I don't believe he's right that this team is just complete garbage and there's no salvaging it. But
listen, just to hopefully defend. A player from a negative narrative that's being, pushed around by Philly media and the fans freaking out about that. That doesn't make me a homer. Listen, I may be a homer, and I don't really care. I love this team, and I want it to do well, but I am always going to be critical and always want and see those steps that need to be taken for this team to get where it needs to go. And one of those steps is Philadelphia media shutting the hell up.
Yeah, I mean,
and stop creating these narratives. It's like they get bored, and they're like, oh well, let's lean on this. Oh, let's lean on this. Let's create this story. There's nothing to talk about.
Speaking of stories, this one here, the ants got up. I think that's kind of funny.
Hilarious.
It's hilarious, but I mean,
it's not going to happen, but it's hilarious.
Well, didn't they just get rid of Moorhead?
Not officially, I don't think, but yeah, he's most likely gone.
Yeah, well, he was the wide receivers coach.
But,
why? This guy's he's a crazy
guy. Never coached.
What's he going to teach them how to do end zone?
Yeah, he's never coached one bit.
He's
just
making
because
money
he spends
doing
time in Philly.
commercials or whatever it is he's doing now.
And Madden rating stuff. I don't know what he's doing. But,
I love him, but no.
It would be hilarious, but it's never going to happen.
Listen,
sadly.
You could be the greatest wide receiver of all time if you coach worth a lick.
Yeah, listen, I'm okay. I would probably accept Jerry Rice as a wide receivers coach, but
I would too. I would too.
But
he'd be throwing.
In all fairness, he's never coached.
But you heard how his dad told him how to catch footballs, right? He would just throw bricks at him. He'd catch bricks. That's how he taught.
Like you tell him.
Yeah.
Matty B, the sky is black, like the home jerseys for your six-time champion Philadelphia Wings. We have a big showdown Friday night at the Wells Fargo Center against Halifax.
It's all about the facts. And guys, remind you that this is brought to you by CherryInjuryLaw.com. Right, David R. Cherry is your man with a plan if you get hurt at work, motor vehicle, personal injury, criminal law. Call him at 610-565-0300 or go to CherryInjuryLaw.com. Again, call Dave. You get hurt at work, motor vehicle accidents, personal injury, and criminal law, 610-565-0300 or go to CherryInjuryLaw.com. All right, guys. So I talked about the whole snake bitten thing. Going back, watching football this Sunday, watching Andy Reid go to another Super Bowl. Like I said, Patrick Mahomes has been to how many Super Bowls?
I'm convinced.
Andy Reid was there with him.
I'm convinced.
What? You're convinced what?
NFL's rigged.
You're convinced?
I'm convinced.
No,
how did the Lions?
I'm convinced that we're just cursed.
I mean, how did the Lions? They were Hoover vacuums in the first half, sucking up everything, catching everything, and then second half starts. They can't catch a cold. They're dropping balls left and right.
I think.
San Francisco was that one dude was getting beat like a rented mule.
I think Dan Campbell's to blame.
He was. I mean, not letting them giving up 6 points.
I talked to everybody. We talked about. I used the term controlled aggression. He went like big balls Doug, right? Everybody was like, going on for four. He thought if he got that fourth down and they could score a touchdown, and he might have been right, that game would have been over.
Yeah.
But at the same time, and it wasn't the last time he didn't take the field goal. It was the first time he didn't take the field goal that really hurt him because if he went and got that field goal and he would have
you kick off. Now they get the ball at the 25. They're not driving down the field.
It's 3 more points.
Yep.
The more you give, the more the peak is seen, the more you can look up and oh, it's getting closer. It's getting closer. The momentum shift changes.
Yeah.
And Dan Campbell.
And so you could just tell too, Lady Luck was on their side too. Look at that catch that Ayuk made.
Yeah,
I mean, come on, like
that
that.
was pretty crazy.
That's when you turn around and look and go, yeah. When Ayuk made that catch, I went, Detroit is not winning this game. You know,
Listen, not only I do respect Daniel Campbell for sticking to his guns. This is the way he's coached the
All
whole
year.
entire year. So I will respect that because I hate when coaches kind of do that and they go away from what got them there. But the play calling in those two situations, not the greatest ideas in the world, and their players didn't execute. Plain and simple. And yes, I think that's ultimately what cost them the game. But there was a lot of moments that the Lions left,
They left a
potential
lot of
points, a lot of plays, and that's ultimately
like
why
I
they
said,
lost.
sometimes you got to have a little luck too to get.
Oh, yeah,
I
of
mean,
course.
we know firsthand.
We know a lot of luck.
Yeah.
2017, 18. I mean, Jesus, how much luck did we get?
I
that
mean,
year?
between the double doink and then Julio not catching that touchdown. I mean, so
Best
but-
thing he ever did for the Eagles.
yeah. I mean, the funny thing is like I'm looking at it like the 49ers shouldn't even have been there. Like they should have lost to the Packers.
Yeah,
You know what I
really
mean?
should have.
Like,
Yeah.
and then the Lions had them, and
Should have lost to the Lions.
they should have lost to the Lions, but they somehow get by. But I'll tell you what, looking at this Super Bowl, they can't do that to Kansas City because Kansas City's not going to take their foot off the pedal.
No, that's the
Like
thing.
if Kansas City gets up big, they're just going to blow them out.
I hope so.
And I saw a fatal flaw in that great 49ers defense. They can be run on. So I mean, David Montgomery was picking up chunks of yardage.
Gibbs was slashing them.
Gibbs was getting them. I mean, Warner and what's the other Greenlaw? Yeah, I mean they were getting.
Yeah, listen, they are all pro linebackers, and yeah, they did not have a very good game in that first half, especially. So
even in the second half, like they were still picking up chunks of yards. And I'll tell you why, if Kansas City runs the ball like that,
yeah, I think Pacheco could be huge.
Yeah, like and Pacheco's the type of guy too. He looks for contact, like he don't shy away.
No.
And it could be a long game for the 49ers.
I just know that I don't think I'm going to be well if San Francisco wins. I'm just not going to be
No, because we'll never hear the end of it for a while.
Listen, to me, it's really kind of a cool. I said I wasn't going to watch the Super Bowl because I didn't like either team. But
you say that a lot.
I do.
I say that every year except for the years that the Eagles are in it.
Yeah. So, but if you're really looking at it though, if Kansas City wins, they're basically the new dynasty.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay. If San Francisco wins, they join the other two dynasties. With Pittsburgh and New England.
Yeah.
They actually pull ahead of Dallas.
They do pull ahead of Dallas.
So they'll pull ahead of Dallas. So really,
how funny would it be if the game ends with the Niners doing what happened to them in the Lions game? They are up like 2-3 touchdowns on Patrick Mahomes and the
he
Chiefs,
comes back
and they come back and win just like he did, just like Shanahan had to deal with in Atlanta.
Oh, that would be too funny.
Oh my God!
But I think if they win Kansas City, I think this could be the swan song for Andy Reid.
Yeah, I think so. I think if they were to go, I think he's.
I don't think so.
I do. I think he would definitely.
I think it's definitely on the table.
Listen, I think it's always on the table. But he wins again. He keeps most of his team. He can go. I mean, he can go win another one next year for all he knows.
Oh man, I love it.
They're not good, but everyone makes them look great because it's scripted. And that's why they are in the Super Bowl.
So basically, Roger Goodell walked into the Lions locker room and said, "Look, you're going to get a big lead, but ultimately you're doing the job. You got to put the Niners over at home."
Like a wrestling
I was going to say, where can I apply to be a writer for the NFL?
Yeah.
Oh, trust me. Yeah, right.
Eagles, baby. Let's go.
But I mean, if you look at it going forward, I mean, I don't look at the Eagles as like Matty B does. Like Matty B thinks they need to be ripped down and rebuilt from ground up. I don't think that.
So we shouldn't trade our best generational talent on the team and try to rebuild against somebody younger.
This is a different sport.
I know, I'm just messing with you.
It's a different sport. It's a different sport.
You call him for a second.
Yeah, no, I just looked at him. I was like, I mean, if Jalen has a bad year next year, they're going to be looking at that.
I'm sure the Philadelphia media will.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the heck, they are. I forget who it was. I think it was Bleacher Report. I think they posted something on Twitter, X, whatever we're calling it nowadays. And there's something about the dead money hit on trading Jalen Hurts wouldn't be that severe and blah, blah, blah. Like, are we really talking about this? Is this a conversation?
Well, yeah, we
And
saw
this is
that.
this is exactly what
What
happens.
was the other
Is the
one?
media brings up these things, and neurotic Eagles fans will take that in and just
Just
not
run
know
with
how
it.
to process it and run with it, and that becomes their whole personality for the next 2
Did you
weeks.
see the I think the Eagles called the Bears about the number 1 pick, and it
I
was leaked
saw,
out there.
yeah.
Like, and I'm sitting back and they're like,
Why?
well, why would the Eagles take the number 1 pick? And they already have a quarterback, and I'm going. He probably just made a phone call saying, "Yeah, well, what's it going to take to get out of that
Listen,
pick?"
I always think Howie makes. I think
I think he
Howie's.
makes those calls.
I
during
think
the year.
Howie's like me playing fantasy football. I'm gonna
No,
reach
I
out
feel like
to
Howard's like me
everybody.
pretending to work. Hold on, I'm on the phone. Yeah, guys, I'm trying to see what they want for the first round overall pick. What's going on, guys?
He's always checking. That's
Nah,
all.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't want to go home, guys. I
yeah.
want to go home.
Realistically, he has no need for the first 2 picks.
no.
Listen, if he wants to go up to number 3, draft Marvin Harrison,
Yeah,
and
because
have
the thing is, if we were sitting at 1 or 2 for whatever reason, he'd probably be trading back right now.
1,000% yes.
Oh yeah,
1,000% yes.
I'm surprised he didn't do it the year.
Listen, honestly, I kind of hope that if certain guys aren't there at 22, we trade back late 20s, go draft one of those safeties, and pick up an extra third, and get another linebacker. Hell, let's get 2.
Well, I like the
linebackers,
people
you know?
who say that the football scripted or whatever, but then they're the same people saying, "Well, we need a new coach. We need to get rid of this guy. We need to bring this guy in." Like, well, if it's scripted, what does it matter?
No, right? Exactly.
You
Doesn't
know?
matter who's running the
Do you sit
show.
there and go like, Vince McMahon should bring this guy in, or AEW should bring that guy in, or whatever? No, it doesn't matter because it's all scripted. Like they know.
True.
So my point is, it ain't scripted.
But I do like how the NFL leaned into that with their commercials.
Yes,
That was hilarious. Absolutely.
But that would be the ultimate baller move if you are scripting the NFL, that they act like it. They make fun of it right in front of you.
Yeah, right. Like 10 years from now, it comes out that they're scripting it.
Yeah. Oh
it's
man.
like, wow, the balls.
The best one. The best one was the colors though. People are like, oh, because you see the colors for next year.
Over the Super Bowl, it's
for
green
next year,
and purple,
it's
so
like
it's Eagles Ravens.
Yeah, they said, oh, it's going to be Eagles Ravens or Minnesota and Miami.
Yeah. And they literally came out and said we run an AI code through our logo through an AI system, and they generate colors based on like teams that could be in it.
Yeah.
Like purposefully.
All right.
That's why you're not seeing Panthers blue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm saying. Like they're just running colors that could be
Chicago orange.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that's my point. Like that they literally said that's what's happening.
Well, and now because the Niners and whatchamacallit, the Chiefs are in it. I think what the logo this year was purple and red, right?
Yeah.
Well, they're saying the red represents San Francisco, the purple represents Taylor Swift because that's her favorite color.
Oh, for the love of
See, I didn't hear that one. I heard the red was for the Chiefs.
Look who's smelling a 49er Super Bowl.
Oh, Pat.
Oh, figures.
Man, Pat with
you got
2
your
bombs.
you got your Niners jersey ready there?
You got your Jerry Rice jersey on there? Your
bang,
San Francisco
Bang
treat
Bang Niner gang.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, that's Pat every Saturday night.
Pat, there's 2 bombs this today.
Better script the world would have Eminem, Taylor Swift Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they said. We were talking about the colors.
Script would be great if the Canadian FanDuel said they had like prop bets if Travis Kelce was going to propose.
Yeah. Oh, it's still a thing.
Like,
you can still do it. Yeah.
You can still do it, but like it's like if you bet $100 and it's yes, you win $900, and if it doesn't happen, it's like you have to bet $2,200 to win $100. Like that's how stacked it is right now.
Yeah, but that's Canadian, so like you're probably getting back.
What would be funnier though if you scripted this? That it was a Lions versus Chiefs where you had, and then she leaves Travis at the Super Bowl after he loses and goes and leaves with Eminem and dates him for a year.
Oh wow,
that would be fun.
That'd be hilarious.
That would
should
be
a
funny.
script writer.
Dude, that would be a heel turn.
Yeah,
of all ages.
I was talking about
like, yo, you lost. You're a loser. She'll go write a song.
Yeah. I honestly hope she has a harness in the boxes she's in and gets like swung over to the stage at halftime and does a whole big
Would you have more respect for her if she rips open an Eagles jersey?
Yes.
Like,
I would she would the whole city of Philadelphia would be back on Taylor's side.
Yeah.
For sure.
The chefs will win. Travis proposes to Taylor. and they make Swifty
babies.
babies. Awesome, man. Awesome.
I mean, hopefully not right there because
But
that might
again,
be
like I
illegal.
said, this well, hey,
Yeah.
I'd watch.
I mean,
Yeah,
I might take a peek.
And that's what I call must-see TV. But that's what I'm saying about being snake bit. It just always seems like here's Andy Reid out there now. He's been to how many Super Bowls now? He's won how many Super Bowls now? Couldn't do it here.
Well, he did all. Well, he got all his practice here.
Again, we're an organization that kind of failed to give him wide receivers to work with.
I mean, we did have Todd Pinkston and James
Hold
Trash
on.
as
Yeah.
our top wide
The only
receivers.
time it worked out was when they actually had T.O.
Yeah.
So,
Shocking.
Just things to remember, Mike Lauro.
I'm remembering, but as far as Joel Embiid goes, you
Uh,
can throw all these little puns in all you want.
I know.
Hey, look, I need a drink, so I think I'm going to go to Dolan's after
Dolan's Bar
this.
is the
Let's
place
go,
to
let's
go.
go.
24 East Sellers Avenue, right in Ridley Park on the 19078. Right off 95, exits out the airport north of Delaware. You can get there very easily. Go to dolansbar.com, follow them on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Quizzo Music, great time. You never know. There is current players, ex-players there anytime at any moment in time. I went there and a Flyers party broke out that was not scheduled. I swear to God. Some of the craziest times I met there. Some of the big-time names of the Flyers organization, as well as guys who used to write for him and everything. It happens. At Dolan's, PJ throws a hell of a party. You don't even know he's doing it. He does it. That's how awesome Dolan's is.
I met Lenny Dykstra there.
Yep. That's
Nice.
Game 2 of the World Series last year.
Listen, I'll buy first
Lenny's-
round. I'll buy first round, gentlemen.
Lenny's home away from home.
Yes.
It would be cool if Travis proposed to Taylor and then tell her I'm dumping you for Kim Kardashian. Why would he propose her and then say I'm dumping you?
Yeah, that's a weird proposal.
That's kind of a jerky thing to do.
Yeah, what a jerk.
Tony Woods. How about Jason Kelsey saves Bud Light beer from holding out a blue can and doing a selfie out of a Taylor Swift penthouse booth?
I'm not really sure where we're going. with
All
that
those
one,
little
but-
squares threw me off. I'm like, I don't know where we're going with that.
Oh.
I'll go with it, Tony. It sounds like a great idea.
Oh wow, yeah, that's actually a selfie emoji. I didn't know we had one of those.
Is that what it is?
The little red one.
Oh, okay. I did not know that.
Yeah, I didn't know we had one
I
of
did
those.
not know that.
Mm.
I'm not up with that.
Yeah,
I guess.
kids today.
Me neither.
Kids and their stuff. But other than that, guys, hey, Mike, tell them where they can find you right now.
You can find me Sundays at 9 a.m. with my meat-loving partner, Pat Bernard, right here, along with Al, doing P&M in the AM. We are actually taking a break from the Locker Room Sports. We will resume that March the 7th. And you can find me on Clear the Ice certain nights.
Depending on what he's scheduled.
Depending on when I'm
There you
scheduled.
go. Nice.
Ryan, where can they find you?
So Sundays usually me and Dibes are doing some sort of NFL draft prospect, top 10 list. I think we're going to wait till after the Senior Bowl to do our next one, which is running backs. We'll do a top 10 list there. But speaking of the Senior Bowl, Dibes and I will be doing a post-game show, kind of wrapping up all the highlights of the game and kind of all the stuff leading up to it, the practices that are going on this week. Normally Mondays, 6 o'clock, I have my show, Football Smack Talk Show. Tuesday, I am with Dives again, Shane and Dave, and we do Birds of the Round Table. And then occasionally I'll do a party on Broad. Or
Other than that, he's doing absolutely nothing with his free time.
Nothing else.
Nothing else is going on in his life. But guys, like Quentin's saying here, like and subscribe, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, you name it. Just subscribe. Go to our newsletter on our website every Friday. All the shows that you missed, there'll be links in there for you. All the articles that we put out, there'll be links in there for you. That and so much more. And as we get closer to the draft, I'm actually going to be starting putting out, I think we're going to do, talking to Dibes about it. We'll probably do Wednesday or maybe Wednesdays. We're going to put out a newsletter with all the draft coverage from that week you might have missed. So it's all draft-only stuff. So check it out. We'll have that coming up and so much more. And as we get closer to the draft, we'll be announcing all the 24/7 draft coverage we'll be giving you, plus so much more, some special guest things coming in as well. Let's see. Tony's saying, hey, all the new coaches, do Eagles really need Nick Sirianni? Question was, did he really need Nick Sirianni to begin with? We'll find out this year.
Yeah, I guess we will, right?
Guess we'll really find out. Is he a figurehead or not?
What would you say you do here?
That was the best Like it was a scene right out of
It
Office
really
Space.
was.
I'm a people person.
I
I deal
talk
with the
to the
people. You know, like I mean, like that's what I was waiting. Like I thought they scripted that.
Right,
Like
yeah.
I thought that was like oh,
Yeah.
these guys are just being funny. Okay, I get it. No, but like it was funny. Like he was just like, oh, I sit on the defense. Find out what.
Who knows? I might sit on a defensive meeting. Like,
yeah.
okay, like you're just gonna
I
walk
might
around.
sit-
Going,
I
I
might-
don't coach the offense.
he's just
I
gonna
don't
walk
coach the
around
defense.
going.
I don't coach special teams. I coach the team.
Where's my stapler?
Yeah, that's what I was
Where's my
doing.
stapler?
The swing line. You know?
Yeah.
Pardon me.
Stapler.
Where's the coffee machine?
Yeah. Dude,
Mine broke.
that was one of the best moments, and that will be forever him if this ends up playing out the way it does.
Totally.
I mean, come on, is it surprising that a guy who had coaching experience in here right now, if this doesn't go? I mean, they always hedge their bets.
They do.
They did
Always.
it with Jim Schwartz.
Yep.
They did it with well, that was for Doug Peterson. And like, look at Nick Sirianni. They didn't do it for him, but they did it now.
Patricia, I think, probably was their guy. I mean, not that he was the greatest head coach, but he's a guy in the room
If
with
that's
the
it,
experience.
then I'm going to go on the Matty B train and say fire Howie. If that was the game plan, he was your backup head coach. Fire Howie right now because
I mean,
Patricia was the worst.
Who else?
Is the worst person.
Who else would it have been?
Anybody else? You want to talk about ridiculous?
That Vance Joseph was out there. You could have brought him in.
Yeah,
And he's a good defensive coordinator.
I mean,
and he's
you're
got
not
head
wrong.
coaching
You're
experience.
You are not wrong.
I would take him way before I took Matt
Sure.
Did
Patricia.
anybody ever see the Matt Patricia press conferences?
Yes.
When he was in Detroit.
Yes, they were
Oh, you
comical.
need to. You can't talk to me. You're dressed like that, dude. You had a pencil hanging out your hat the whole time.
Yeah.
You learn how to dress from Bill freaking Belichick.
Yeah.
Sleeves optional, bro. Like, come on, man.
Sun's out, guns out.
It was really close. Bill Belichick was the coach of the Eagles. Somebody.
That's what
said
they were
something,
saying.
What the
yeah.
rumor, again, a slow news
I mean,
day.
that's something. Yeah, here's my thing: that's something that can be said when it doesn't happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
we were going to do it, just it didn't work out.
Yeah.
No, maybe Bill told me they need a year. You're like, he'll probably like, "Come, give me a call
Well,
next
Bill
year.
didn't get a job. I'm telling you why. Because you know why? He's too old, and he's not going to be around for 5 or 6 years. He's going to be around 3, maybe 4 years. He only wants to get those 17 whatever wins he needs.
Whatever, yeah.
Listen,
then-
I didn't want him here because he would hire this kid, and this kid looks like he eats paste. You ever
True.
watch this kid on the sideline?
But, yeah.
Yeah,
He
I
makes
eat
some of the most.
He's like,
Oh, yeah, he's like, yeah. Like I'm sitting there looking like, dude, put your tongue back in your mouth. Like, you're watching-
Listen, Belichick's going to sit out the year, and then he's going to realize, hey, wait a minute. I have a lot of money. I'm old. Why am I trying to get back into coaching?
Seriously, can you see if he goes and tells either Vic or Kellen Moore what to do? They're going to tell Nick Sirianni to take his marbles and go home. I mean,
I can see Vic Fangio doing that.
I think Vic Fangio, especially.
I think Vic Fangio is going to be like, dude, just leave me alone. I know what I'm doing, and I think Nick's going to leave him alone. I think he's going to have them.
Nick doesn't know what to do with the
defense.
I just
Right?
don't think he has any clue.
He was an
Unless you guys-
offensive.
you
He
guys
was an
stop the
offensive.
ball.
Sure was.
Just stop the ball.
Yeah.
Right? You guys are going to stop them from catching the ball.
Yeah,
All right, good job, guys.
Can we have the ball back, please?
Yeah.
Oh man, we must be getting really tired.
Belichick's son is Ralphie from The Simpsons.
Definitely.
Yes,
On
he
that
is.
note, we are going to close up the show. That was
I'm in danger.
Oh my God, guys!
Ben had the comment of the night.
There you go. He's Ryan Reis. He's Mike Lauro. We are EoP, and we're out of here.